So this house was originally listed by the seller at $1.2 million.
So as many of you guys may know, I finally closed on my first home. I didn't get much video, but my realtor was able to provide these pictures. I'm so grateful for the support both him and my dad was throughout the closing day process. This was an amazing time for me. I didn't get much video, like I said, but I did get my brother's and my mom's reactions.
You started small. How many bedrooms is the house?
5.
This is the guest bathroom.
Yes, bathroom?
Yes.
Ooh, you're on that now. Wow. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. I am super excited because as you guys can see by the title, I'm going to be doing an empty house tour today. But not only that, it won't be a Ruby video if I didn't give you guys some value as well. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys the process, the price, the details, like everything you need to buy a house. I did a very similar video when I bought my first car, and I tried to give as much value and all the things, and I got such a great response. I knew that when I bought my first house, I wanted to do the same. That's why even before I knew I was coming back onto YouTube, I tried to get as much content here and there as I could. I bought this house at 24 years old. It's $1 million house. You guys know I say this all the time. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I created a plan to buy this house years ago when I was living in my parents' house back in like 2019. Before I go into the empty house tour, let me introduce myself, because in my last video, people did comment that like I never introduced myself in videos. But my name is Ruby. I am a serial entrepreneur and investor. I basically started this YouTube channel years ago when I was in college. I took a break to like focus on my businesses and really just focus on building myself a little bit more offline before coming back to create content again. And that's where I am right now. I bought this house almost a year ago at this point. It's definitely over 6 months. And I wanted to be able to share with you guys basically the process of me buying this house. So I want to get straight into the fun part, which is the empty house tour, just so you guys can see the house. But yeah, let me get into it. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys when I talk about the details. All right, so Ruby from the future here. And while editing the video, I can kind of like almost feel the negative comments coming. And I wanted to create like a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't want to come across like I'm bragging or anything like that. I have been very, very, very blessed, very lucky, very privileged to be in this position to be able to afford this house. I like content like this, hence why I'm creating content like this. There's a whole bunch of different YouTubers that have created videos along these terms, and I use those videos to help me with my process, but I didn't really see anyone that looked like me. I know it's cliche to say. I would love a world where there's a little bit more transparency for my demographic so that people that look like me know that it's also attainable. Of course, there's a whole bunch of steps that go before this. I've created videos on how to make money, how to save money, how to budget, how to build credit, all those different things in the past. For those of you that are new to this channel, I will be creating videos like that again. I did want to make sure that I could contribute to the platform because it did help me with my purchase. That's just my quick little 1-minute disclaimer. I do apologize. Let's get back into it. So I decided to buy a house in Atlanta, Georgia, and I love it here. I've been here for almost 2 years now. My first full year, I lived in a high-rise, and then I decided that I wanted to buy a house. And I didn't buy a regular house. I ended up buying a townhouse, just because it kind of fits my lifestyle a little bit more for the current stage of life that I'm in. I love my kitchen, and the bathroom and the kitchen are basically like the selling pieces for me. I love how modern it is. It is beautiful. The rest of this content is filmed on my phone, but this is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house, 3,100 square foot. This is the first room here, and then the second room. These first 2 rooms were used as kids' bedrooms from the previous owner. They both have walk-in closets. Then I have a bathroom here that I forgot to record on my phone, so I did have a clip for that. Then we have a laundry room, and then this is the master bedroom.
The master bathroom is beautiful. I really wanted a spa-like feel to my bathroom, and I love the fact that there's a standalone tub. This is the master closet, and then I have a separated like toilet room, and that's it for the first floor of the house. It's 3 bedrooms on this first floor, and there's actually an elevator chute for this house as well, which is great. This main floor I did horrible recording, but there is a powder room there, and then this is a living room, dining room, and an extra sitting room that was across from the kitchen that I did not record. And then this bottom floor has 2 additional rooms. They're technically not bedrooms because there's no windows, but both of these rooms are bigger than the rooms upstairs. So I actually ended up using this room right here as a guest bedroom, and this room here as a movie room. It's actually huge, and the ceilings here are higher than both of the rooms, both of the floors upstairs. I think the ceilings are like 13 feet here. And then this is the 4th bathroom. Then that's like the elevator chute there. And then this is the garage. I'm so happy I was able to get a 2-car garage for my house. So I ended up closing on my house the same day that I moved in, which I don't recommend. It is very hectic, but I'm so grateful that my family is so supportive. My younger brothers and my mom helped me move into my house. My dad had to go back to New York after the closing day, but my entire family actually came for Thanksgiving, and I was able to host. It was such a great time. I am so grateful for this opportunity and just being able to host a big family. If you know anything about a big family, it's a lot, especially during the holidays. But my sister and brother saw my house for the first time during Thanksgiving, and we just had an amazing time. I'm so blessed and so happy that everything went well.
All right, so now that you guys have seen the house, I'm gonna walk you guys through really what the process looked like. The realtor that I use is Christian Burwell. I will put his information down below just in case you guys are interested in the luxury house market. With this house, I actually got an amazing deal, and I'm so happy that my realtor found it. I wasn't even in Atlanta at the time. I had moved back to New York for a couple of months and was actually in Dubai for a couple of weeks at the time of like going through the offer and all this stuff. So the time difference was annoying, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. But my realtor FaceTimed me one day to show me this house, and I literally put the offer in that same day because the house basically had everything on my wish list plus more. I only wanted like a 3-4 bedroom house. This is 5 rooms in this house, 4 bathrooms, like 3,000 square feet. Definitely way bigger than I had expected, especially for a townhouse. My realtor really did his thing with finding this house because it hit all of the boxes that I was looking for on my wish list. It's an amazing neighborhood, super close to all the areas that I frequent in. My neighbors are great. The security is top tier. It is completely out of the way. I just love it here. Basically, all of the things that were on my wish list for this house. Not only was it a beautiful house, but it was also an amazing deal. So I'm currently in my office. I have my folder of information here because I wanted to kind of break down to you guys how I knew this was gonna be a good deal. And this is very important because at the end of the day, you are buying your first piece of real estate. You want to make sure this is a good investment as well. People always say you can't predict the real estate market. You don't know if it's going to be a good buy or a bad buy. But this is a way that you actually can almost like make sure that you're buying a good house. You know, you obviously want to buy a house at a good price with potential for growth in the future. So you want a house that you know can have good equity. Seller actually put this house up on the market for $1.2 million to start. But at the time that you put the house up for market, no one was buying houses. Like, it was a very shaky time in the market, and people were not ready to buy. The interest rates were super high, and basically people were hesitant, you know? So what the seller did, he was in a rush to sell his house, and he kept dropping the price of the house. So I was watching it, and it went from 1.2 million to I think like 975 to then finally 925. This obviously is perfect for me because if the house is valued at $1.2 million, and he's constantly dropping the price, that means that I'm getting a house at an amazing price. Not only that, but all the other houses in the neighborhood, all the other townhouses here, were obviously worth a lot more. The house at this point is $925,000, but I still told my realtor, we're gonna negotiate. My goal was to pay $900,000 for this house, and he put it up for $925,000. I didn't tell my realtor, okay, let's tell him that we're gonna put the offer at $900,000. I said, let's do $875 and see what he says, you know? Because if you do $900, he's gonna say $910. The offer in at $875, he counter offered it at my goal price of $900,000, which was again, perfect for me because now I'm buying a $1 million plus house at $900,000, the exact price that I wanted to pay. I'm basically at this point getting the house at the lowest possible price it could be. When you're buying a house, you actually have to get an appraisal. So before you buy a house, basically the mortgage lender has to know exactly how much the house is supposed to go for. And the exact process that I did beforehand of like looking at all the other houses in the neighborhood, looking at all the other townhomes and all those things, my house was actually appraised for $1.7 million. So it was actually $1,078,000 it was appraised for, and I'm getting the house for $900,000. That's almost $178,000 in equity before I even bought the house. Crazy. Yeah. So yeah, this just proves that this was an amazing deal. So even though it is a high price point, it is $1 million house, I basically got it on a $100,000 discount. $100,000 plus discount, which is great. I haven't read the book yet, Never Split the Difference. I highly recommend because this allows you to understand the power and strategy of negotiating. Now we put the offer on the house. We got the house for $900,000. It's a $1.1 million house at this point, and now we need to actually buy the house. You need a lot of cash on hand when it comes to buying a house. And it honestly depends on one, how much your down deposit is, and then also your closing costs. So your down deposit itself is based off of what loan that you choose. So typically, if you're doing an FHA loan, which is a first-time homeowner's loan, you're putting down 3.5% to 5%. The only problem for me, when it came to that is that it would be a higher interest rate. And when you're buying a $900,000 home, you want as low of an interest rate as possible. So that didn't work for me. And you also would have to pay like private mortgage insurance and all that other stuff. On the other hand, you have a conventional loan, which you put a lot more of a down deposit. So that's typically like 20% of a down deposit, but you're only able to do that if you have you need strong credit, you need stable income, you need a lot more to basically be able to get a conventional loan. I had the criteria, so I ended up doing a conventional loan, and I put down 30% on my home. 30% of $900,000 is $270,000 that I needed cash to be able to put as a down deposit. I had that, so that was fine. And then also you needed closing costs. So closing costs can range anywhere between, I believe, like 3% to 6%, like additional fees just to close on the house. And the amount of closing costs that I had to pay was $35,000. So my closing costs were about 3.8% of my home price. And altogether, that number ended up being $296,540. And that basically just has to be like direct deposited before you even get to the closing table. So I had to go to my bank and actually wire those funds before my closing day. That's how much I had to basically pay to close on this house. $296,000 immediately, and then now I have a monthly mortgage payment. You have to pay your taxes. I have a lot of friends or people that I know in general that are in the service or beauty industry that don't pay taxes. And I tell them all the time, like, you have to pay your taxes if you want to buy a house. Like, you need it because you need to prove that you have income coming in. For me, it was a lot more work only because I am a business owner and I have multiple businesses. So, I had to provide tax returns for my corporations, my LLCs. I had multiple LLCs, 2 corporations, and a nonprofit that I had to provide tax returns for. And it was just a lot more work than I expected to like compile all that information. Every single dollar has to be accounted for. So that means that They look at your bank statements as well, so up to 6 months. And they want to know how much money is coming in, how much money is coming out on a month-to-month basis. Also going to need a credit report. So they're going to run your credit and make sure that you also have good credit history. You typically want to have above a 740. That's what looks good when it comes to getting a mortgage. If it's too low, they're not going to approve you for any amount. I think the lowest is like 550 or like 600. I'm not really too sure as to the lowest, but I know anything above a 740 is good. With me also, I have a corporation and I'm an employee of my corporation, and I was buying the house based off of my own numbers, not like my business numbers. So I also had to provide my W-2s as well. That's also very important because I know a lot of business owners that don't pay themselves, and that is very, very, very important. You want to make sure that you have salary coming in because you want to show that you have actual income. My W-2s, I had all of my tax returns for my businesses. I had my tax returns for my personal, like my personal tax returns as well. But when you have a lot of stuff going on, then it becomes kind of like almost like a red flag, because say one of my investments goes flats or one of my businesses like turns upside down, you know what I mean? You don't want to be held liable and the house be like basically taken from you based off of what you have going on, you know? So like say there's a lien on your house, they don't want that to happen. So you have to make sure that you're in good standing or like superb standing for everything that you have going on. One thing that was like a little bit of a bump in the road for me was the fact that I had stopped one of my businesses a couple of months before looking at buying a house, and they want to see consistency when it comes to your income and stuff like that. So there was like a moment where like my income dropped a little bit before like leveling out with my other businesses. So they saw that on my bank statements and they questioned it. I had to provide an explanation. I had to have my CFO come in and like create actual documents to provide to kind of show, all right, yes, I stopped this business, but all these other businesses and all these other investments kind of like supersede that. So there's no worry there. And it's just a lot more work than you ever would have expected. And they get very personal. They want to know why you're sending your mom thousands of dollars. Not only do I have businesses and investments, but I have retirement accounts. I have life insurance, like an overextended life insurance policy. Why does a 24-year-old have an overextended life insurance policy? It's just a lot of explaining, but they want to make sure that you are basically like a valid person to lend to. It's just a lot of work, you guys. That's like the stressful part of it, because it's a lot of going back and forth. You kind of have to prove yourself to this mortgage lender and make sure that they know you're a good candidate for whatever loan you're getting, especially if you're getting a very expensive house. You're talking about like, with this is like hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're lending to you to buy a house. People have been asking me like, is this my forever home? Do I plan on staying here long term? And the answer to both those questions is no. I'm still young. Even though this is my house, I don't plan on living here for more than 2 years. I'm actually planning on like my next move as we speak, because I like to plan in advance. I hope to be able to get into real estate investing, and this was really the first step. I feel like the first step to real wealth building and real estate investing is buying your primary home. Looking at other townhouses in this neighborhood and close by areas, with this floor plan, the amount of square footage and all those things, they rent for like $7,000 plus, which is crazy. Being able to put this on the market and actually use this as a rental in the future is definitely like in the plans for me. I'm super excited for that journey. I'm definitely gonna document everything. So stay tuned for that type of content in the future. And if you're wondering like who rents a $7,000 townhome, you'll be surprised. I'll put a couple of the ones that my actual realtor is putting up for rent right now, and he's leasing these out like that. You guys have to remember, like, there are tons of people in Atlanta, and there's tons of people that are high net worth, and there's a lot of people that don't want to settle down in one location and are just here for short periods of time. I actually do have 2 renters in this neighborhood right now that are renting their houses out for a lot of money. Definitely gonna be a good investment in the future, but stay tuned because I will talk more about numbers of different things in the future if you guys like content like this. I've enjoyed this process so much, like way more than I would have expected, especially through all the bumps in the roads in the beginning. But this is not gonna be my last house by God's grace. I hope to be able to get into real estate investing. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm trying to get into the swing of things, but if you guys have any video ideas that you guys are interested in seeing, I do want to make this a series, so I need as many ideas as possible. As I said before, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.